Good day, everyone. Welcome to the weekly note of GTC Traders. This is a feature we do each week, as you can tell if you click on the little category for the GTC weekly note. This is something that we do each week. If you are new, I am the senior partner of a separate private proprietary firm, and we decided, hey, how about we put our weekly note up? We're not by any means the only one that does a weekly note. This is something that's very common among many firms, weekly note or a daily note. And we thought, hey, how about we just make this real easy on ourselves? How about we just copy and paste sort of our weekly note from our private proprietary firm and put it over here on GTC Traders. So that is what we do. And the article itself has all of the vagaries usually of different thoughts as far as the economic calendar for that week and what we see in interest rates and various markets. If you're sort of curious about a weekly note, if you go to the GTC Traders YouTube page and you look at something like the playlists, so you click over at the playlists, come down here, go to the GTC weekly and daily note playlist, look at the full playlist. The first three, maybe even the first four videos really describe why so many firms do this. Okay, so why so many firms have a weekly and a daily note, really what is the value of a weekly and daily note, what it is and what it is not. So that's just for folks who are new. And then, as I will now, I usually yabber on about the vagaries of each week. Good day, everyone. Today is what? Today's February the 21st, 2024. We're a little late in getting the weekly note out, but quite frankly, it's an abbreviated week since we didn't have trading on Monday. And in addition to it being an abbreviated week, there's very little in economic releases. I think we have FOMC minutes later on today. I'm recording this at about 8:45 in the morning before cash open. And we just had some mortgage data with mortgage rates over 7%. But other than that, that's it for the week. Right? So somewhat slow week. I've been watching Palantir, but we'll see how it goes. If I have to make an adjustment, who knows? It's moving a little lower in pre-market, but thus far I'm fine with it. Really, not to claim a victory lap or anything, because it's been more than a tell, right? A lot of furu types will see, haha, we predicted. We didn't predict anything. What we have had our eye on and we've been talking about is with the reverse of globalization that is ongoing and the complications of globalization. Maybe that's a better way to phrase it. We've been talking about inflation expectations, and we have been watching March 2025 SOFR. And we have been saying for a while, we thought the market just raced ahead to cheaper rates far, far, far too quickly. As a matter of fact, the one comment I made to one of my partners in the private proprietary firm when they started talking about rate cuts in 2024, I was like, whoa, have they gotten ahead of themselves, right? I cannot believe that I think that was the last press conference in 2023. I was like, they are getting way ahead of themselves. I'm not sure if they're just trying to use language guidance or what, but it is far too early to be talking about several rate cuts, right? And I said the market got a hold of it, ahead of itself, and with the reverse of globalization, the complications of globalization, structural inflation within the United States, we had mentioned this 96.30 area in the SOFR we said that shelf selling off, and I think I said that behind here. It would tell me that the market is going to say, yeah, we got ahead of ourselves, which they did. They sold off, went right through that shelf, right? We've gotten more economic data, and again, as a tell to that we're correct, March 2025, SOFR sold off hard to higher interest rates. Quite frankly, we come over here to the weekly note, and if you go back several weeks, you'll see that interest rates were just I thought far too cheap for 2025. We had the Fed dot plot that had it much higher, and we've been seeing interest rates run higher, whether you want to look at the dot plot each day and the actual STRS curve, or over here, right? If you want to look at actually 3-month SOFR. And you're seeing this expressed throughout the interest rate markets as interest rates look like, oh yeah, we got ahead of ourselves. So what the heck were we doing way up here at cheap rates? And now we've moved a bit lower. There's a shelf, and I've mentioned that shelf on the weekly note. If we want to look at bonds as a proxy, since it's sort of lagging, so it's sort of a safe proxy to use, right? We had mentioned that 119.19 structure. Last week, it sank through that. We've sort of got a new structure here. Honestly, at this point, it's about waiting. I said this before, but we need to see all, not just CPI, and core, but all inflationary data for like the rest of this month, for March, and for April, because there are slowdown winds sort of approaching, of the market slowing down, getting ahead, everything's gotten ahead of itself as far as exuberance. And so finally, maybe those rate kites are actually starting to cause a bite. We really haven't seen it. Like, not in previous, like if you look at previous rate hikes throughout history, right? Look at the back in the 1970s when they hiked the rate aggressively. You saw a commensurate increase in unemployment, which I have said I think gives the Fed room. Let's just keep the rates higher. Obviously, the job market can handle it. So it gives them breathing room. Like back in the 1970s, you saw unemployment like just skyrocket when they did that. And that's intentional. That's supposed to happen to cool down the economy. And we have not seen that, right? So are we beginning to see headwinds? Are we beginning to see signs of a slowdown? I think we need to get through February, March, and April and be looking at all data, inflationary or disinflationary, moving forward. All right. So that's just our thoughts at this point. It's an abbreviated week. Not a lot of economic news. So we'll see what the market gives us. We'll see if I have to adjust PLTR here, or whether or not I'll just say, screw it, I'll take it. And then start working that position, or if it rallies, right? I'm good in a number of situations, quite honestly. So we'll see what that gives us. But for now, that's just been our thoughts. Our thoughts are only good until they're canceled. This is just a look over our shoulder as to what we're thinking, and has been what it's always been. It's simply been our thoughts, not yours, for whatever the heck day it is. As always, stay safe, trade well, and remember that love doesn't cost to die.